Optimizing corporate IT infrastructure, hardware, software, and cloud solutions. Features of the selection of computer hardware and software. The peculiarities of modern digital technologies, in many ways, determine the development of many large companies that constantly use computer equipment in their activities. Due to the fact that much information and sometimes all the documentation is stored on hard disks but not in paper forms, the question of choosing appropriate software and hardware is an essential task for the management. However, the issue of document security is not the only reason to find the right equipment. The management of any organization is responsible for the information security of the data that is stored in the company and is, perhaps, the guarantor of safety. It is the leadership that should select not only digital equipment to meet the needs of a certain company, but also ensure that it can safely store essential information. Saving money, in this case, is undesirable since insufficiently high-quality software and too old hardware may cause the loss of essential information or lead to a hacker attack. In order to avoid it, the management should be aware of the importance of acquiring quality equipment. When choosing a particular technique, it is significant to consider the level of preparedness of those employees who will operate it and also calculate all financial expenses in order to acquire necessary materials and, at the same time, not to remain bankrupt. Also, it is better to follow the advice of experienced professionals working in the IT field to acquire quality and, at the same time, not too expensive digital goods. If the management of the organization follows all these tips, various problems of theft or loss of data are unlikely to arise. The use of software service providers. Not all the employees of a company who work with computer equipment and regularly use the internet can provide full protection to the organization's software. Therefore, the activities of special providers are aimed at selling relevant programs and applications that can give certain organizations the possibility to acquire specific functionality and, at the same time, not to concentrate on solving particular problems. However, to meet all the needs, companies do not need to use the services of such providers and pay a lot of money to third parties. In all large companies that deal with computer equipment, there is usually an IT department that is responsible for ensuring the security of any information, maintaining the hardware in proper condition, etc. The management of a particular organization can focus on the right policy of hiring experienced and qualified IT professionals who can ensure the smooth operation of the corporate network. At the same time, it is possible to organize the work of personnel in such a way that certain employees are responsible for specific procedures. Perhaps, in this case, there will be no need to pay software providers for their services and rely on the work of unauthorized individuals. The technology of the whole process certainly requires competent planning, since taking specialists to a specific position without first testing the effectiveness of innovations can cause significant financial waste and even problems with the operation of hardware and software. Therefore, to begin with, it is essential to develop a strategy for a new work plan, select high-quality and talented employees, and instruct them to perform certain tasks related to the operation of machinery. In this case, it will be possible to achieve rather high production results and reduce the cost of using the services of special providers. Advantages and disadvantages of cloud computing. Quite a lot of information, which many organizations have to deal with, forces the company management to resort to cloud services. They are specific data storage facilities where it is possible to place information and then download it. In this regard, the quality of cloud computing is a rather topical issue since this type of data storage has some significant advantages and obvious drawbacks. Therefore, relevant conclusions should be made according to the consideration of this type of information. Perhaps the main advantage of this method of storage is the possibility of putting all the data in one place while preserving space on hard disks. All the information is stored on the internet, and specific providers offer such services. Also, this method is rather convenient in the conditions of a competitive industry where the storage of information within the company's network is risky. The management can set up access to certain information in such a way that only certain people can download it. Another undeniable advantage is the minimization of investments, as there is usually no need for additional expenses on security. If it is about the shortcomings of cloud computing, The only and possibly most significant drawback is doubts about the security and reliability of such storage on the Internet. Certainly, providers make many efforts to protect companies' content. Nevertheless, hacker attacks and other similar threats cause significant problems for the owners of important information. Therefore, it is essential to be sure that a particular provider is reliable and provides high-quality services. It is necessary to turn to reliable and proven platforms and not to be afraid to spend money on such a procedure as providing information protection.